New developments overnight in the search for Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. Authorities released the person they detained for questioning last night. That man lives about 60 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home. He told CBS News after he was released that police detained him during a traffic stop and later searched his home. He says he does not know anything about Nancy or Savannah Guthrie.
They just told me to stop moving. Like, what's your name? Carlos, and that's it. They put me in the cop car. I don't follow the news. I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
Police took this man in as a person of interest just hours after the FBI released images of a masked person outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. A retired FBI agent told CBS News investigators are, quote, looking for these next mistakes to happen, and they're going to be ready to capitalize on them when they do.
Joining us now is a 22-year veteran of the FBI, Dennis Frank. So, thanks so much for being here this morning, Dennis.
My pleasure.
Okay, so we just saw and heard that that person who was detained during a traffic stop for questioning has now been released. Can you talk about, does that signal progress being made here, or that investigators are just chasing every lead that may come in?
I think it's a combination of that. First of all, there was something that led them to this vehicle. I don't think it was just a random stop. Something led to this vehicle and then to the house that was searched. Now, I don't know exactly what the laws are in Arizona as far as detention, but you can only generally detain somebody for a certain period of time, a certain number of hours. So that may be the case. And there's not enough evidence to detain this person any longer or make it a formal arrest. So it doesn't mean that the suspect, he's not still a suspect. It's just that the investigation continues, and he may be cleared. I don't know that at this point. I think it does show progress. I think releasing the video is going to provide a lot of information to somebody out there who recognizes this person in some way.
And Dennis, the FBI says a new doorbell video showing a masked individual was only recently recovered after being previously inaccessible. That's what they said. So the question is, how complicated is recovering digital evidence in a case like this? Does this delay raise any red flags about the timeline?
It is complicated because there was this particular doorbell was not, there was a subscription where it was stored in the cloud by Nest. So it's just whatever the person, in this case, Ms. Guthrie, would just be able to watch it on her phone or other devices. And it wasn't stored yet. It's still there somewhere. And that's where the technology and the Bureau's scientists and technicians were able to get with Google and their engineers and basically find this in their storage in the cloud. So it's just like any digital prints are always left there, even if you delete something on the internet, it's there. But I think it is remarkable that they were able to recover this, and I think it did take some time, and it was released as soon after they received it, in my opinion, which is important in these type of cases because it does potentially lead to a lot of information or somebody knowing something.
Yeah,
it is, it's not a typical case. There aren't a lot of street cameras in that area. There aren't, I'm sure they're doing ping locations on the cell phone towers and things of that nature, but it seems a little more complicated than most, regular neighborhoods or a city street.
Well, that's, I think, a lot of people think of Phoenix when they think of Arizona. Tucson, much, much, much smaller type of size town. I do want to talk a little bit more about the pictures of this person wearing a ski mask, gloves, backpack, appears to have a holstered gun. It just came out just a short time ago that there are two sources at CBS News saying that he's not a suspect or person of interest at this point, but somebody they'd like to talk to. What do you make of that?
Well, a couple of things. Talking about the holstered gun, that was just very unusual where it was positioned and the gun didn't fit the holster. There was something really odd about that. Second thing is this person couldn't have acted alone. I just don't see how it could carry, a woman. I've heard she was 150 pounds. It's not that easy to carry someone from a distance because what I understand, these houses are set back from the street quite a, several yards, maybe 30, 40 yards at that. So somebody had to be, in my opinion, in a vehicle somewhere nearby. They probably wouldn't be staged right by the house. They'd be down the street somewhere. So there is potentially, two people involved at least. So that is, a person of interest could lead to someone else. It's really still preliminary. This is one of those investigations where I wish I was still out there working, because I find it intriguing. I'd like to be out on the street, or I was a crisis management coordinator too, or working the command post, because this is one of those that's going to take some time, but everything coming together, I believe that it will yield results eventually. And hopefully they'll find Mrs. Guthrie alive and well.
I think we're all holding out hope for that, for sure.
We hope so too. Dennis Franks, thank you so much.